Hello everybody, my name is Glass Turtle, and in this video I will be running through the new dungeon in 7.3 with the duty support. These videos are designed to help those who are struggling and need an easy to follow or easy to understand guide. I'll be going through everything I do as I do it, every step of the way and why, and this video is going to be completely unedited. My commentary will be live as I am running the dungeon. I'll be doing small pulls, however I highly encourage you to do larger pulls if you feel comfortable in doing so. That's everything I wanted to say beforehand, so now let's get into it. Okay, so first off, I want to showcase exactly what I'm going to be running in the dungeon for gear. So let's check this out here. I have got the 745 relic weapon. I have a 750 headpiece, 735 chest piece, 720 gloves, 750 pants, 735 shoes, and then 735 earrings, 740 necklace, 740 bracelets, 710 ring, and 735 ring. As long as your minimum eye level, that's all that matters. You don't need to worry. I'm also going to be running this as a tank and a DPS in other videos, and I will leave a link in the description below to those. And they are definitely not as geared up as my sages, so it's going to be fine. You don't need to have anything crazy. You don't have to have any materia melded or anything like that. Just go in at minimum eye level. Should be fine. So I am going to be running it as the duty support because I want to make sure that everybody can follow this guide using the duty support and using the trust as well. So I'm going to be using characters that are available in both. So my tank is going to be Graha, and my DPS are going to be Kryl and Y'shtola. Everybody here is accessible to trust as well as the duty support for this dungeon. So if everybody's ready, I'm going to not hit the wrong button. Again, this is not going to be edited in any way, so I'm gonna have to do that again.
I stand ever ready.
Victory will be ours.
It's easier for me to explain things as I go this way, and I don't know. I feel like I enjoy the more genuine conversations and explanations as I go along, and I'm only human. We're all only human, so making mistakes is completely fine. I'm gonna be making mistakes too. I will try not to. Let's see what happens when we jump in. I'll be going through everything that I'm doing, and also explaining why I'm doing it at the same time too, so everybody can do this. These guides are primarily for people who are a little unsure of themselves and are having difficulties, and this is to help you guys along. Just to give you some explanations of what you need to watch out for and what you need to do for the bare minimum to get through this. So, I'm going to throw Cardia onto the tank, onto Graha. I'm going to prep Eucrasia, and we're going to get going. So what I like to do here is throw a shield on myself, because I am probably going to get hit by these. And then I also throw a shield on Graha as well. And then I prep another Eucrasia, so I can hit a Eucrasian Dyscrasia right there. Shielding yourself before you shield the tank whilst you're running through this with a trust or duty support just allows you to take a couple of hits without not actually taking it. I want to keep an eye on Graha's health, so I'm going to hit a Soteria and a Physis 2. And that should be enough to keep him somewhat healed. I don't need to worry about it now, just in DPS and the rest of it. I'm going to refresh my Eucrasian Dyscrasia here. Just spam it. I'm going to be doing small pulls, but I do highly recommend if you're comfortable enough to do larger pulls. It will require more healing on your part. Doing smaller pulls like this will require less healing and less things to go wrong, basically. So again, I'm going to shield myself with Graha or Eucrasia. Hit Eucrasian Dyscrasia here to apply a damage over time. Again, I am just going to spam my A. And when I'm able to, I'm going to pop my Physis 2 onto Graha, and then also a Soteria. You can choose whichever healing method is comfortable for you. As long as it keeps the tank alive, and it doesn't use up too many of your skills or your MP. Speaking of MP, I need to Lucid, and I'm also going to throw a Toracol onto Graha as well, just to keep him alive a little bit more. Refresh my Eucration Dyscrasia on these two. Make sure that I don't stand in the AoEs on the ground. Always make sure that that is something you pay attention to. And I'm just going to single target last guy. Yep. Just a long corridor.
I've created new endless for you.
I'm going to throw a shield on myself, and again throw another shield onto Graha. And get Eucrasia. I can hit Eucration Dyscrasia. Going to turn the camera around so it's easier to see where I'm at. I'm going to pop a Physis 2 here, and Soteria. Sure to stay out of the AoEs. Plus you're also AoEing everybody here. Refresh my Eucration Dyscrasia for extra damage. I'm going to throw a Toracol onto Graha just to keep him alive a little. If you notice, I'm only really hitting 3 heals maximum during these small pulls. You don't need to go crazy. You can just go slow and don't panic heal. There's no reason to panic heal when you're doing it this way. All you really need is Physis 2, Soteria, and Toracol, and you should be fine. Small pulls. Shouldn't need anything more than that. Eucrasia again, throw it on myself, and throw it again on Graha before we enter this room. Doses, and then just AoE everything. Hit a Physis 2. Area. Just AoE again. Always keep an eye on your tank's health. You don't need to keep a very close eye on it, but if it starts to drop a little, just throw a Toracol. And then after that, you should be fine. I'm going to refresh Eucration Dyscrasia. I did not hit that guy over there because Graha moved him, but that's fine. I'm not going to worry too much. He's not grouping them up together, which is a little unfortunate, but try and find a spot where you can hit everybody. That's one downside with the duty support or the trust. And you're running one of them as a tank. The pulls sometimes get a little bit weird like that. Alright, first boss. So I'm going to be going through the mechanics as we see them. So you can always pause the video if you need to, and look back and re-listen to the explanation that I have for the mechanics. First off, let's throw a shield onto Graha. And I'm just going to Eucration Dosis 3. It doesn't matter if you just hit Dosis or Eucration Dosis on this guy. This is an AoE, so I want to hit Caracol first. And then I want to hit Holos. And I'm not going to top anybody off because those two abilities there should top everybody off, if not close to. So I don't need to do any more than that. So here, you just want to worry about the knockback initially. Try and position yourself somewhat in a safe spot, and then you can just stand here, and the AoEs are going to go off next. You can just stay put here. And then he swipes half of the area, so make sure that you are not in the area he's going. Okay, so he's going to show a knockback here initially. This is the one that you want to pay attention to. Don't pay attention to the second one that shows up. That one over there is a fake. You want to stand over to this one. Stand right up close to it and make sure that you're going to be... You can basically just try and knock yourself back into the other one that it's showing. Kind of go into that general area. So Graha here is going to get hit by the Tank Buster. I am not going to do anything to him because Graha throws a ridiculously large shield on himself. This is 2, so everybody heals up though. So here, the AoEs are going to go first. They disappear pretty quickly of where they're going to hit, but the general area where the duty support or trust tend to move is the safe spot. And then we go to the first knockback that first showed up. We're not going to... We're going to ignore the second one that shows up, and then we just want to... We're going to just heal everybody up real quick. And then there's a AoE, medicine field, so just throw a Caracol. Hollis isn't up, so I'm going to throw a Panheima. And once Panheima is over, it will heal everybody. I'm going to throw a Haima onto Graha. The second time buster, you can shield Graha. Okay, so this one, the knockback is going to go first. Pay attention to this area here is going to be the safe spot that you're standing in. So try and angle yourself so you're going to get knocked back in the general area that the safe spot is going to be. That is definitely not the safe spot. But as long as you stay here, if you get hit, it's fine. You can just shield yourself and you're not going to struggle at all. Just shield yourself after the hit. You do get a bleed on you if you get knocked back into the area on the outside, but too bad. I'm gonna throw a Caracol and a Hollows right away because myself and Graha weren't at full health, but yeah, boss fight is already done anyway, so we didn't even need to worry about that. But if you do end up making a mistake like that, absolutely no worries. You are a healer, so you can just throw a shield on yourself. Don't panic, just allow yourself to make the mistake, get back up on your feet, and continue on with the fight and the mechanics. Because if you start worrying about it too much or stressing about it too much, you're going to miss any of the other mechanics you have to worry about and may end up killing the rest of your party. So just get back up, shield yourself, heal yourself a little bit if you need to, and go where you need to go. There is absolutely nothing wrong with making a mistake or two. As long as you survive it, as long as everybody's healed, as long as you get through the fight, that's all that matters. So I'm going to be throwing a shield on myself here, and then throwing another shield onto Graha, as I normally do. A Eucrasian Disgracia right here. I hide myself behind these claws just so I don't get hit by any mechanics from them, or I don't have to move for any aid. I'm going to hit a Physis 3 here. Physis 2 even. There is no such thing as a Physis 3 right now. And I'm going to hit a Soteria as well, just to keep Graha healed up. Never worry about keeping your tank at 100% health. They have a large health pool for a reason. You do not need it to be 100% every single moment of the dungeon. Just keep them healed enough to survive. So anything 60% or higher, that's good enough. You do not need to worry about keeping them at 100%. To crack open this offer. Shield myself. And shield Graha. Pop Eucrasia. Ready. Angle my camera around. I'm going to try and not stand next to Graha so I don't get hit by any of the AoEs. That one in particular, Pressure Wave. And I'm going to hit Physis 2, Soteria, to keep Graha alive. And just continuously hit all my AoE skills. The AoE skills that you want to... Well, the only AoE skills that you have on Sage is Phlegma, Disgracia, and Psyche. I'm going to hit a Toracol on Graha because he dropped. I was focusing a little too much on my words, so I wasn't paying attention to his health. That is okay. Small pulls makes it a lot easier to kind of pick up from if you forget to heal your tank. Small pulls make it easier for you to heal them when they're lower. I'm going to heal here on myself and heal on Graha. Prepare Eucrasia. But ideally you want to try and use all of your damage skills. The only one that I don't really recommend you using, unless if you absolutely need to, as a Sage, is this one right here, Toxicon. It's better for you to just spam Disgracia, to be honest with you, rather than using Toxicon. Toxicon's only really there if you need to move whilst you're dealing damage. I healed Graha really quickly there. I'm going to hit Toracol. Then I'm going to hit a too. I'm alive there. It really does not matter what healing abilities that you use. You can make use of all your AoE abilities too. You don't have to do single target heal. That's why I like to use Physis 2. Physis 2 is one that I like to rely on a lot, even though it is an AoE. It is a very good AoE that just gives a regen to everybody, so it benefits putting on the tank. So I'm going to shield myself here for the top of the stairs, and then also shield Graha. And then I'm going to grab the coffer after applying my Eucrasia again, because these guys will instantly target you once you open that coffer, because you're close enough. And you just start wailing on them again. The adds in between the bosses are nothing special. There's nothing special about them, just deal damage to them, keep the tank alive, keep yourself alive. I'm going to throw Toracol on Graha, because my Physis isn't up. And I also popped my Esoteric for a little bit extra. AoE these guys until that one is dead, and then I single target. I'm going to pop a Lucid Dreaming here. My MP is dropping to half. We're good. Okay, so this next boss here is very interesting. It's probably one of my favorites out of the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV, to be honest with you. So what we get are four bosses here, basically. I want to kind of do a little bit of explanation before I jump into the fight, because there's something that you can do at the very start that kind of helps a little bit. You don't have to do it, but I would recommend you Eucrasian Dosis on the two guys on the outside the instant that you get in here, because then you apply a dot on them. And I'll explain why you would do that instantly and not wait for it. Because when the instant that you step into there and you initiate the combat, you will get tethered to this one right here if you're a healer. If you're a DPS, you get tethered to this one or this one on the other side. And the tank will get tethered to the one in the middle on the right. So whichever one you get tethered to is the only one that you can deal damage to. So once that happens, if you try and hit any of the other three, it will not deal any damage to them. But because you applied the dot on this guy and on this guy on the end before you got tethered, that will deal damage to them as long as it's up. So it just gives it a little bit of extra damage on these two on the outside. You don't need to. It is completely fine if you don't. You can just focus on your one guy. So, to prep for this one, normally I would just shield the tank, but for this one I like to shield everybody. And I will go through all of the mechanics as we go through the fight. So I Eucrasianed. I'm going to Eucrasian Dosis this guy, Eucrasian Dosis this guy before the tether goes off. You see that this line here, I am attached to this guy now. So now he's the only one I can attack. Head Splitting Roar is an AoE. Each one of them is going to do that attack, so make sure you put a Caracol or some other form of AoE heal out. And I'm going to do a Holos on everybody. And these guys are going to create a circle and then pull whoever is tethered to them. So this circle here is your special little circle. You only need to worry about the mechanics in here. You don't need to worry about any of the mechanics happening in any of the other circles. You just have to resolve the mechanics. There'll be two sets of lines, and then there'll be these electric wave things, and also an AoE. It'll either be an in or an out, so you just have to resolve those. Next, we will be seeing Flaying Flail. There'll be 3 flails that drop from the sky. You just have to stand in between 2 of them, close to the rim. That's where the safe spot is. Death penalty is very important. This will apply Doom on you, and it's got a 10-second timer on it, so you have to Azuna it right away, as soon as possible. And you also, at this point, you also want to throw a Caracol out, and any other AoE heals that you have. Throw out a Panheimer to make sure that the 2 DPS are staying alive, because the DPS are dealing with a fire on the floor that they can't get rid of or escape from, so they just have to deal with the damage. You have to make sure that you heal them through that. The tank will be completely fine going through it. So the lines go first, then the flails, and then the other set of lines, along with an AoE either in or out, like last time. I also like to stand over here because it makes it easier for me to hit everybody. This is a large AoE, so make sure you do a Caracol or another AoE heal. And then I like to use Philosophia here, so that everybody gets healed as you deal damage. So it's basically an AoE version of Cardia. And it is highly recommended to use here because then you don't have to worry too much. There's the waves, and then again, it's another in or out mechanic. Just keep on dealing damage to your one guy. Another death penalty, so make sure that you remember to remove it with Azuna the instant it goes on. Hit your Azuna, get rid of it, and then throw an AoE heal on everybody in the party by standing here, and then just throwing a Caracol and Physis 2 should be enough. Should be enough to keep everybody alive. And then just go back to focusing on your one guy. And that's your guy dead. The tank is also done with his, so now you can help the 2 DPS. So you can go into the circles to help them, but you don't need to. As a healer, you can just stand out here and cast from the safety of outside the circle. If you go into the circle, you will have to deal with the mechanics as well as whoever else is in. But after all that is done, then you are done. The main thing there is it's very, very, very important that you Azuna the Doom that gets thrown on you, otherwise it is an instant death on you, and then you've got to do that fight all over again. There is no other way to get rid of Doom other than Azunaing it. You cannot shield through it, you cannot heal through it, you have to get rid of it by using Azuna. I don't want to panic anybody, but it does only have a 10-second timer on it when it first gets applied to you. So once you see the Doom icon, Azuna it right away. You will see it in the party list. It will be a very scary looking symbol, and it'll also have a white bar underneath it, indicating that you can use Azuna to get rid of it. That is that fight. That is probably one of my favorite fights, because it means that as a healer, you have to focus on a lot of things, especially if you're playing with other players, because a lot of things can go wrong. But running as the duty support or the trust, you don't really need to worry about the tank. You can kind of ignore the tank for the most part. You also don't really need to worry about the 2 DPS. Just once the mechanic happens, when you get Doom applied to you, that's when you want to throw out a couple of AoE heals to keep everybody alive, basically. Any other time, you just worry about yourself and resolving the mechanics in your circle and dealing damage to your one guy. So we're going to go through here. I shielded myself. I waited a little too long explaining, so my own shield dropped off, but it's fine. We're not going to worry about it. It's not a big deal at all. Again, we're just going to be dealing with these guys as usual. I'm going to pop a Physis 2 here and hit a Soteria to keep Graha healed. Refresh Eucrasian Eucrasia. I'm just going to single target this one. Yeah, there's a treasure coffer here, so we'll crack that up. I'm going to shield myself first, and then I'm going to shield Graha. Get Eucrasia. There's guys around this corner here. Eucrasia, everybody, as usual, and then just start here. Because my Physis is a little bit on cooldown, I am going to hit a Toracol on Graha just to keep him healed. Then I'm going to hit a Physis 2 when it's available, and Soteria. Again, you don't have to hit these buttons, but this is kind of what I recommend if you want to do it very calmly and easily. You can hit any other of your heals as well. You can also top him off a little bit here too. It doesn't really matter, but you don't panic, basically. You don't need to panic heal here. Graha does a good job of keeping himself alive. You don't really need to worry about him too much. I'm gonna throw a heal on him here, just to keep him a little bit above water. Here, so elevator. going to be somewhat of a long corridor, so you can take a bit of a breather here. You don't really need to worry. Fairly long corridor.
Memories from an age rife with death. The desperation will serve well.
Once you get to the bridge, then you can throw your shields up
The enemy is at the
prep
gate.
for the
To
set
arms,
of
good soldiers, protect your kingdom.
mobs over here. So I'm going to shield on myself. Now I'm at the bridge. Shield on Graha. Prep a Euphrasia. Off at the end. And again, just AoE. AoE to your heart's content. Hit a Physis 2 here. Draw healed. Hit a Soteria on top of that. And just continue to AoE. And then refresh Euphrasia. Whenever you see that either the number has gone to the single digits or it's no longer there underneath the enemy's name, if you see on my screen right now, one skill that's underneath their name at the very top of the screen, with the timer on it, that is mine.
Allow me.
Once that goes away, just refresh it. All you need to do. And then I will throw a shield on myself here. Raha. Little bit late on that because I thought I was far enough away, but I was not. So we're just doing the same pattern again as we did previously. Deal damage to them. Hit Physis 2. Keep Graha healed. Hit Soteria. I'm going to hit a Torkoal here because Graha's health isn't going up as much as I want it to. And then go back to hitting grenades. Then I'm going to Euphrasia. To regular heal onto Graha. The Druacoal. There. Hit a Toxicon because I can't actually get close to them.
Hold still.
Heal on him. Go up these stairs. This will be the final boss that we're running to now. I feel like the final boss isn't nearly as difficult as the second boss is. The second boss is just a little bit complicated considering it's a completely different boss to anything else in the game. But this one here should be fairly straightforward. So I will go through everything as it comes, but beforehand, let's throw a shield on Graha. It's 3. And then apply our Euphrasia dose. So the AoE is going to come out first, so we want to do a Caracol here. And then hit a Holos. And as usual, I don't top people off because the combination of Caracol and Holos should top everybody off as is. You don't need to worry about that. But if you're unsure, you can also hit another heal if you would like. This mechanic here, we don't want to stand next to these guys. We want to stand next to one of the second set because the first set's going to go off first. So these are safe areas here. And then we want to move over to the first set that showed up once the mechanic has been resolved for them. Now this is a line AoE, so we want to group up, hit a Caracol, and then we can use any heal that you want. Ixicol is a good choice. I'm also going to hit a Physis 2 here, just kind of keep everybody healed. I'm going to reapply my Euphrasia doses to make sure I've got my damage going. So this here, you want to go find 2 of the individuals and stand in between them. This spot here is just the easiest safe spot in the world to find. Just stand directly in the middle of 2 of the individuals. Don't stand anywhere near the ones in the group. If he's going to raise his hand, you want to go to the other side. There will be that line of text that shows up on your screen whenever he does raise his hand like that, so there are 2 indicators for that. So this is going to be a knockback. You want to find the single at the very front. It's on one side or the other, and you want to get knocked back into it. And then you want to move a little bit forward, kind of hug Graha if you want to. Graha tends to go to the same area as I suggested this time. And that tank buster there, again, you don't need to worry about it. The first tank buster, Graha will shield himself like crazy, so you don't need to worry and do anything there. This is the last mechanic that we really want to watch out for. So these guys are going to run. You want to try and find the spot where none of them are running to, and just kind of stay put there. Because those are very wide line AoEs. It's just the safest to go to a spot where none of them are running. Normally, with the first two, it does one side and then the other side is safe. I'm going to heal Graha here real quick. And then it's this mechanic again. Go find the second set, and then go to the first set. You can somewhat follow the duty support or the trust system here. They do a pretty good job of positioning themselves beforehand. Again, that was another hand being raised. You saw the text that showed up on the screen, and you also saw his hand being raised, so you can just that there. These guys here, there's running, there's at the back, so over here is safe. And hit another heal on Graha. Another knockback, so we want to find the single at the front. Get knocked back into that corner. And move a little bit forward. Basically, give Graha a hug. That's all you need to do, and then you're... So now we want to go in the middle. It's very important we go into the middle here, because the trust for the line AoE will move to the center. So we're going to get the line AoE first, and then there's going to be a tank buster, so we want to shield Graha for this second tank buster. And then you can Physis too here. Notice that I did a Caracal and then a Holos, and I just added a Physis 2 to just keep everybody up for that large AoE there. You can do an Ixocal here or an AoE heal of any kind just to top everybody up. And these guys are doing the running thing, so find the safe area. And then look for the second set to go up for here, go stand by them. Again, you can follow the trust with this one if you're a little unsure. They're pretty good at placing themselves at a good time. The Immortal Remains is gathering energy, so he's raising his fist. Want to go to the opposite side of Slam. And then we are good. And that is this dungeon all done and completed. You can get your spoils from here. And yeah. This dungeon does have a minion, so if anybody is interested in farming for a crow, which I think is going to be very popular for a long amount of time, and if you want to guarantee obtain it if it does end up being in that coffer, you can run it with the duty support or the trust system, and hopefully this guy going through it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I will try and explain things to the best of my ability. I will also be posting my eye level and everything in the description, and this is also timestamped. You probably know by now from watching this. I will be going through this again with a tank and a DPS, and again, the links for those will be in the description below if those are more your speed. If you're a little unsure about the second boss and want to try it as a different role, then you will be able to there. But I hope this has been helpful to you, and hopefully my explanations were not too hectic or too quick. But again, you can always go back and replay parts of this video if you're unsure. And again, I will be in the comments. Any questions anybody has about any of the mechanics, anything like that. So that is the end of this video, and I hope everybody has a lot of fun with this dungeon. I do like this dungeon. It's very exciting. I hope a wonderful day. Until the next video, take care.